Hi, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new here, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build video. So today we're going to be building in the world of Brindleton Bay, which is the world that we got from the expansion pack, Cats and Dogs. Forgot that for a second. And we're going to be building on the lot Hindquarter Hideaway. The price is 38,148 simoleons, and the lot size is 30 by 20, and it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. It is considered, well, it's not considered, it is a tier 3 tiny home, which means that you have two of the added benefits. One of them is lighten the load, which means that you have lower bills, and the other one is feeling fine all the time, which pretty much explains itself. If you would like to change this, if you're going to download this from the gallery and you would like to play in it and you would like to go to the other tiers, you can absolutely go down to tier 2, and I've tried it out. If you want a tier 2, you need to remove the roof because the roof is actually floor tile. Well, it's a platform because I wanted to have that little bit of an overhang. And you would also have to remove the second floor deck. And then I think you can pull out the bedroom that is still there. You can pull that out by like one tile, and then you will be within the tier 2 tiny home. Or if you wanted to go down to a tier 1, you have to remove pretty much everything except the bottom floor. And that means also making that patio one tile shorter. I think that's how it was. So I thought I'd just give you that information. But getting into the video, so the idea was a tiny home, and I wanted it to be a container tiny home. And since I did that, and it's kind of very modern and very streamlined, it's very straight and edgy and metal and not very natural. I wanted to make the lot and the landscape that more organic, if you know what I'm saying. So the pool is an actual pool. However, I did do those weird shapes and stuff, and you can see now that I'm coming in, I am adding rocks and I'm adding plants and grasses and things to soften those weird edges and make them kind of disappear. And the reason for that was that I didn't want to have that straight, very edgy, boxy house and an edgy, boxy pool. Do you know those hybrid, like, I think they're called like pool ponds or pond pools or natural pools or something like that? I don't know exactly what they're called, but that was my inspiration. So I wanted it to look more like a pond than a pool. But since the Sims can't swim in pools, well, they can. Since the Sims cannot swim in ponds, they can only wade into the water and then like play in it. And I wanted there to be the option of actually swimming in it. I did make it a pool, but I did this really weird shape. And then by changing the trim and adding rocks and plants and stuff, I tried to make it more of an organic shape, if that makes sense. And the whole lot, like, I didn't add fencing because there is, in the world around this lot, there is already that fence, and in my mind that all belonged to that property. Okay, so that was the thought. So I tried to use rocks and plants, or majority of the plants that came with the expansion pack, to make it more cohesive with the environment. And I think it worked pretty great. Also, I did take the pictures. Goodness gracious. I did take the pictures in the fall. So while I was building it, the wood, goodness gracious. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta refocus. ADHD brain. So the trees that I used are from the Cats and Dogs expansion pack as well, and you can actually change the color in buy mode to kind of a different green and a red. And I was thinking there was also yellow, and it might have just looked off because of my ReShade that I have on, and it didn't really look yellow to me. But so I picked red to make it more fall-ish looking. Because I'm very much in a fall mood, and if I'm looking out my window here in my office, the trees are changing colors, and it's getting kind of crisp in the mornings and in the evenings, and it's I was in a fall mood, so I wanted to do something that kind of fits into our season right now. But yeah, so since this is a tiny home or a small home, it's considered a small home, I think a lot of gameplay would happen outside. So there is like some things to do. It's not like over cluttered with activities on the outside, but you do have the pool, and I added that dive board thing that came with the I don't know what that came with, but it's more like a rock wall thing that you can jump off of instead of the dive board, because again, I wanted it to be more natural looking and like something that was there and that they turned into a pool. Maybe it was a pond and then they kind of just worked with it, and maybe they just swim in the pond. But other than that, there's also gardening on the opposite side of the lot, and then there's a bonfire. So those are kind of the things that you can do, and you're more than welcome to adjust this to your gameplay if you download this from the gallery. My gallery ID is VinnasNook, and all of that information about this whole lot with the hashtags and everything is going to be in the description down below. But if you do want to play in this, absolutely, I would be so excited. I actually had somebody share it with me the other day that they downloaded one of my lots to play in, and I just love that. I love that my build, my creation is going to be part of your gameplay. And if you do that, please leave me a comment. I would love to know that. But yeah, so going back to the build, I was thinking of, so the sim that I was thinking about when I was building this was like a single guy bachelor. So I think I gravitated towards this bachelor's pack, not the bachelor's pack, the Casanova Cave kit, which is the Don Lothario inspired or tailored to Don Lothario. Maybe he lives here. Does he live? Should we make him live here? I don't want to say this is from a save file because I'm not officially working on a save file, but every video that I've so far uploaded to my YouTube channel is in the same save file. So maybe we're working on a save file here together. And if you think that Don Lothario should live in this house, let me know and I'll move him in. And then I'll post a few pictures of him in his new house. I don't know if he would need gardening. Maybe we would have to replace that with something else. Anyways, getting sidetracked again. Yes, so it is a tiny house. No, it is a small house, but to me, it's a tiny house. This is a very small home. And, but like on the outside where I try to make everything more organic and rounded shapes and not so much edginess, I did want to bring some organic materials on the inside. So I used that reclaimed wood wall that we got from not the latest event, because the latest is the one that is still active. I am so sorry, I'm having issues talking today. But the last one that came before, it was the one that we got right before we got enchanted by nature, I believe. Is that true? Yeah, that was that event. And then that's what it came with. But yeah, so I used that, and then I'm imagining that the wall is like a plaster wall, and then I used the wood floor, and I was thinking the wood floor was probably also like a reclaimed kind of situation. And so that's kind of the color scheme that I was going for, was this moody, dark woods, blacks. Very modern, moody modern, I guess you could say. The bathroom that I added in here is actually a regular 3x2, which is it's a standard size for a Sims bathroom, I would say. And like I mentioned before, if you did want to downsize this whole thing and make it smaller, you could absolutely make that bathroom a 2x2. If you use a wall shower like I did here, you can make that bathroom smaller, and it should function as a 2x2 bathroom as well. And then you would have more room, and you just kind of you could have that sim sleep on the couch instead of having a bed. That would work. Or you could add a Murphy bed, like the ones that came from the Tiny Living. Was it a game pack? I think so. I think Tiny Living was a game pack. But yeah, you could definitely shift things around and make everything a bit smaller if you wanted all the benefits of living in a tiny house. Other than that, something I wanted to mention. What did I want to mention? Oh yeah, going into the kitchen. So as you can see, there is a sink in there right now. However, that sink I will replace with the sink that we got from the Home Chef Hustle kit. And I don't know if you watched the dark fairy build on my channel. If you haven't, I'm going to pop a card on screen and you can go to that one next. And in that video, I had used that sink from the Home Chef Hustle kit, and not kit, pack, whatever that was. Was that a game pack? Stuff pack. And I had asked if somebody knows if this is a glitch in my game or if this is actually a function that this sink has. Because when I was playtesting that build, it functioned like a countertop. And I was confused because I didn't think it was supposed to do that. However, when I came into game to playtest this build, I had this sink that you can currently see. And when I had my sim cook, they couldn't finish the meal because there was no countertop space available. So I changed it out to that Home Chef Hustle sink. And it works, guys. It works. And I'm so stoked. That means that this kitchen, now that I have changed out the sink, it's fully functional. And I'm so happy about that because it is such a tiny space and you could make it even smaller. If you would like to remove the stovetop, you could do that and then just have a barbecue outside. I'm not sure. I know that there are certain bonfires where you can actually, if you want to live off the grid, which I've done that before too. I've done a build on that. However, that was not one of the videos. That was like way before I did YouTube videos, but I have done it before where I had a sim live off the grid and they didn't have a kitchen whatsoever. They just ate. I sent them fishing and then they would make like a fish on the stick at the bonfire. So you could absolutely do that if you wanted to. But so there's no oven in this kitchen, which I thought the guy that I was imagining living here, potentially Don Lothario, he does not seem like the kind of person that would need an oven. I don't even know if he needs a stovetop, honestly. He probably would just order in. If that's realistic, if you live like out there in the woods, I don't know. But, you know, anyways. Moving on to the bedroom. The bedroom is really simple. It does have a lot of space. If you could turn this house into a family house as well, or family home. Yeah, it has a double bed. It has a mirror. It has a what's it called? A closet, and then just a side table with some clutter on it, and trying to make it, add a little bit of clutter, not too much. As we all know, I'm not a cluttery person. I'm not very, I just don't clutter my builds up too much, which I do love that. There's some phenomenal builders out there and they add so much clutter and it blows my mind and it makes it so cozy and comfy looking. But I know this is another very short video. I'm working on some other stuff right now, and I've mentioned before that my family and I have currently moved and we're still settling in and we're having our daughter's birthday parties within a week from each other. Their birthdays are. And so there's a lot going on right now, but I am working on some other stuff. There's 2 more videos coming for the kind of Halloween-y season. So there's one coming for a spellcaster and then another one for a werewolf for sure. And so that's what I'm working on. I'm also working on something bigger that is more currently relevant, I guess. So if you want to leave some guesses in the comments down below, you're welcome to. Also, I am still preparing a gameplay, and I have asked before if you wanted to see more like a legacy kind of thing where we go like a rags to riches kind of style for every generation, or if you wanted to see something shorter like the every lot challenge and 24 while 24, like adding the 24 while 24 tasks to that, and then as we complete a task, we can remove a lot challenge. So if you do have any thoughts on that and what you would rather see, leave your comments and suggestions down below. But this is a very short video, this is pretty much it from me for you today. If you would like to download this video, if you would like to download this lot, my gallery ID is VinnasNook, VinnasNook, and you can find this build under the hashtag VinnasNook and under the hashtag TinyContainerHome. Leave me a like and subscribe to my channel if you like what you're seeing. If you enjoy my videos, I am so grateful for everybody who is here. And all of that information and the information about the lot is always in the description underneath. I hope that you enjoyed the screenshots, and I will see you next time in the Nook. Bye, guys.